Just gonna do it. What's up, everybody? What is up? So, I'm starting a little bit early. I said 5 o'clock. I know that. Or not 5 o'clock. I said 2 o'clock p.m. my time. But Tiger just got a t-shirt and it popped up on screen and it was really cool. I don't know how I can redo it. But Tiger just got a t-shirt. It's pinned at the top of the chat. So thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Huge support. Now you're going to get a badass tee. Yeah. But yeah, we're going to be jumping into Dewey did it. How you doing, man? Madman Monkey, how you doing? Scarlet. Yeah, we really do need to storm the internet service provider here in Tucson. But yeah, let me know if you guys, if audios and everything is good. We're going to be jumping into the accident analysis. So you can see that I have the video already prepped and ready right there. But something actually just came up, and something that I really want to talk about. I just saw the news, and I'm thinking about, what's up, Cole? How you doing? Florida, bro. What's up, man? I'm thinking about doing something like a weekend roundup when it comes to the news for motorcycle safety, because it's one thing to constantly talk about it and constantly look for it and constantly be about it. But if you guys don't know what the direction is things are going, you tend to not understand that this is typically what is supposed to be pretty important. Lady Tao, awesome to see you. Gesto and Lane, a motorcyclist diary. Oh, I like that. Welcome to the chat from London. Damn. So something actually just came out. So I'm gonna, as you can see on the bottom right here how I'm changing the screen. So that's what I'm watching right now. So if we go to this, now this is what I want to talk about real quick. Okay. So right here we have Kawasaki will be the first to adopt the Bosch Advanced Rider Systems. Now, oh man, I'm like all tiny in the little screen right there. So what does that mean? What does that mean? This literally just came out. Okay, and look at home article safety on Rad-A-Part. Okay, so I'm not going to read it verbatim. Basically, what I got from this is that the Kawasaki is going to announce the plans to launch a motorcycle in 2021 armed with the new Advanced Rider Assistance systems. So it's going to be a spin-off of the Advanced Driver Systems. Now, this is something I've talked about with Scott from Indian Motorcycle Tucson here on the After the Ride podcast about rider aids. So to know a little bit more about this is that it does include adaptive cruise control, forward collision warning, and blind spot detection. Okay, so that's typically what's happening in cars nowadays. So if we go to the Bosch's website when it comes to their driver assistance systems for passenger cars, this is what we can look for when it comes to a motorcycle system. So Kawasaki's gonna be the first ones to do it, so it's actually really cool. So if we kind of go by some of the stats here, it's gonna have automatic emergency braking, can be initiated at up to 60 kilometers per hour, so it's a little bit less, but that's really good. Lower speed stuff, so like 30 to 40 miles per hour, that's gonna be really good. They're saying that, and grain of salt, guys, when it comes to, it says Bosch accident research, grain of salt when it comes from the actual company, because they are looking to sell their products. But I do believe that this will solve a lot of accidents. Maybe not 43%, who knows. Also, opening door warning system. So that's not going to be the biggest problem when it comes to motorcycles, because we don't have doors. But this is what it looks like, in terms of visual representation. This is what I talk about all the time with situational awareness. The vehicle itself with the computer system like this is going to bring more situational awareness to you, and it's going to be a good rider aid. This is the type of stuff that I absolutely encourage manufacturers to start adopting, and I'm glad Bosch and Kawasaki are working really hard together. If you guys know anything about computers, NVIDIA, so the graphics cards, they're a big portion of this. So if you guys are looking into stocks and everything, NVIDIA does have stocks and everything, so maybe it might go up. I'm not a stock trader or anything like that, but if this is going to be something that's going to be going into motorcycles, just think about it, all those chips and everything going into those motorcycles. Anyways, same thing with Bosch. But anyways, this is what it looks like. So this is you're going to have good detection when it comes to people on bicycles. You're going to have detection on pedestrians and everything. So it's really going to be good. So it's going to be calculating the incalculable. And that's going to be really hard for motorcyclists to actually do. So actually having automatic braking systems when it comes to lower speed stuff, especially if you're not paying attention, it's going to be really helpful. So I wonder how it's going to be integrated with ABS. Same thing with keeping the door shut. So this is going to help with the cars themselves. But you see how it's going to be able to recognize that there's a cyclist coming with this type of technology. Just imagine if, since it's a cyclist, it's going to be able to pick up other motorcyclists. So if we kind of go into more of this stuff, so predictive pedestrian protection system with built-in emergency stop, that is something that a lot of motorcycle riders have trouble with, is that when something comes out of the ordinary from them, they're going to slam those front brakes and then dump the bike. But you see how on this screen right here, let me see if I can open a new tab. You see how, I want to zoom in. Anyways, you see how it has multiple vehicles, and then it has like a square behind the vehicle, square behind the vehicle, square behind the vehicle. It's recognizing that this is going to be the ordinary situation. What's unordinary or inordinary or abnormal is the person walking in between the vehicles. So what it's saying is that it's predicting, hey, vehicle, 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 possibility of somebody coming out. So that is going to be something really interesting when it comes to motorcycling. So a lot of these things are going to be coming in. So you're going to have radar sensors. You're possibly going to have video sensors within it. So it's going to recognize traffic lane signs and other vehicles. So what is the radar going to do? It's going to pinpoint their position, measure their speed in comparison to the movement of their own vehicle. Ultrasonic sensors, precise measurement of distances. Eye booster is going to be electromechanical brake booster that can swiftly build up braking pressure to decelerate the vehicle. So that's progressive brake pressure, guys. That's progressive brake pressure. So swiftly build up braking pressure to decelerate the vehicle. That right there is going to solve a lot of people's problems, and I'm all for that. So a lot of the newer systems are going to come out, and I understand that a lot of people don't want to buy new bikes when it comes to getting these types of things. But look at that, exactly what I'm talking about. So mandatory safety assist systems. Are you ready for that? That right there is going to prevent a lot of people crashing, and I'm all for that. Not much right now, 5.2 wheeler. Control plus the zoom. Yeah, I should have done that. But I'm super excited about this, guys. This is going to be the new tech that's going to be coming out, and it's going to make my job obsolete, and I absolutely love that. I absolutely love the fact that it's going to make what I do basically obsolete. Now, it's not going to change it completely. You know, you still have to have your own situational awareness. The motorcycle's not going to drive itself. It's not going to put you in the right position. It's not going to put you at that 30 or 60 kilometer speed in order to do that stuff. But I really am happy that they are focusing not just on the physical portions, which is going to be ABS and adaptive cruise. I mean, adaptive cruise control is nice and everything, but they're not just focusing on that. They're focusing on hazard mitigation and accident avoidance. That is absolutely imperative. That is the biggest thing that I believe motorcyclists need help on. We don't need a lot of help. We do need help on ABS and all that stuff, but there's so much technology nowadays that it's going to prevent a lot of accidents. So why aren't we doing that for the situational awareness? And I think that's what's coming up. So I'm super excited about that, and I'm glad that you guys are here to listen to me talk about stupid shit. All right, so let's go scroll back just a little bit. Chicano, SC Chicano, what's up, Dan? Shout out from LA. Hey, what's up, man? Byron White. See you February 1st. So guys, February 1st we're having a Yami Noob meetup. So the Yami Noob is going to be coming down here to Tucson. So I cannot wait to have them down here, and we're going to do some really cool things. So super excited about that. Super excited about that. So Kawasaki might have a GPU in it. Need for speed while riding. I hope you don't, Scarlett. But yeah, it's going to have GPUs in it. It's going to have some really powerful GPUs in it, and then a bunch of computer technology. Super excited about that. How will that automatic? So Sean says, how will that automated emergency braking help if you're trying to swerve and not hit the brakes? So maybe it's above my pay grade. I have absolutely no idea. A lot of this stuff I'm just guessing here. So I'm assuming that if you do put any type of input, that is what's going to it's going to override the computer system. So your input might override the computer system. I think it's only really going to kick in if nothing is done from the user itself, if that makes sense. So you definitely have to be aware of that. It's going to be another skill that if it does come out, guys, 2021, I'm going to be here till the day I die. I'm not leaving you guys. So when it comes out, I will do the research, and in fact, I'll probably be doing the research after this. But I cannot wait to figure out how and why this is going to work with us, basically. Super excited about that. I'm just going to put this on my face. Let's see. That scares the shit out of me. How the heck can they account for road conditions as well as what's coming up ahead? Like I said, they're smart people. They have absolutely they have absolutely a bigger idea than what we know. So I'm gonna do my research on that. I'm super excited about it though. That's when I'm excited about something, I spend hours. Like looking it up. So this right here is gonna be the standard. Just like I believe ABS is gonna be the standard for motorcycles. This type of stuff is going to be standard for motorcycles in the future. Just like I believe airbag vests are going to be the standard. Just like I believe that there's going to be some type of airbag neck brace that is going to be the standard. There's going to be so much stuff out there that it's going to make riders safe, and it's going to mitigate a lot of the accidents. And then on top of that, it's going to mitigate a lot of the injuries. So I'm just really happy that this is the way things are going. Kawasaki's going to be the first one to do it, but I know the Bosch system is going to be within a lot of different motorcycles. I mean, it's stupid not to have this kind of stuff on an Indian or a Harley or a Honda and everyone else. I mean, they've coming out with those self-balancing motorcycles. That right there, self-balancing is, and I know this is turning into a big old thing, and I could totally easily turn this into a podcast later on, but Honda with their self-balancing, if you take a look at it, it's a lot like, we talk about, why do you have to get your knee down and all this other stuff. You don't have to. It's the process of getting your knee down, getting to that lean angle. So the self-balancing, it's like the knee down thing. It's where it's like, we don't need that self-balancing thing, but what's the process to keep the bike upright? What's the process of keeping the bike balanced? That right there is going to turn into a rider aid, which is going to help a lot of motorcyclists. So that type of stuff I'm super excited about, and you have to look at the subtleties of it. It's not just like, here's what's happening and this is what the future is. No, the subtlety of how this is happening, you're going to learn from so much. I'm so excited about it, guys. I'm sorry, I just saw that right before the stream. Don't mean to take up the whole analyzing of accidents on that, but it's crazy what stuff's coming out, and I'm so happy that it's going to help people stay safe. So let's see, 30K of bike stuff. Once again, though, I want to say thank you to Tiger for buying a shirt. So if you notice, it's the pinned thing at the top of the chat. He actually bought a shirt, so thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Levi, I don't like computers in my cars and bikes. Costs way too much to repair. It needs to be certified tech. I like to do my own repairs, maintenance. Yeah, and that's true. Everyone's there's gonna be some people that don't like it. The one thing I do, I went from a truck that had no tech at all to a car that has some tech, and I've never had a problem with it. And that, knock on wood, never had a problem with it. But I see what you mean by that. If one of those things happens, it's like, now I got to be certified, or now I have to like figure out how this electrical computer stuff works. I don't get it. But it's going to become so cheap to do this the electrical computer stuff, that it's going to be worth it. So right now, maybe not worth it for the most of the consumers, but it's going to get there to the point where it's super cheap. I remember when the Helite vest came out, and it was well over $1,000, and you could buy a Helite vest now for like $200. So it's now within lines of other motorcycle gears. So I think it's gonna get to that level where it's like, well, if the computer craps out, it's so cheap to just replace it, or to get it fixed, because it's just a matter of like plugging a USB in. You know what I mean? I had my first week off last week because the guy behind me was zoned out listening to the radio and slipped off the clutch. I was off the right of my lane, but he still smashed me and broke my big. Oh man, I'm so sorry. Kyle, how you doing, man? How you doing? A lean sensor. So they will have lean sensors. So there's a lean sensor in my bike already. Not sure if I'll buy one. Yeah, the DanDanTheFireman merch on Amazon is what I created too. So I have Teespring, which is integrated within YouTube, and then I have Amazon. So if you prefer to get free shipping or get it right away as quick as you can, I have it on Amazon too for the same price. So if you want to shop on Amazon, get it there. If you have Amazon Prime, boom, you got it. You got really good shipping. So work a slow witch doc. Yeah. We're dealing privately. He's paying me cash. We'll see. Hopefully that turns out fine. All right, guys, we're gonna jump into the actual stream. So I haven't seen this video yet. So there might be road rage stuff, but it says motorcycle super close calls and road incidents. Once again, we're gonna go over what's happening, and this is a collective chit chat. So if you see something, please write it in the comments. This is how I do things. This is how I get the footage. I see how this works out, and I make sure that I know what I'm talking about. You know, I constantly am looking at this footage, and it's like I see the same things over and over and over and over and over and over again. And the biggest thing is braking and hazard awareness, and I'm super happy about the systems that are coming out. So, all right, guys, you ready? Let me know if the audio and all that stuff is bad and all that stuff. Ooh. Oh, this one right here is gonna be good. So we're gonna watch that again. Oh, that's a scary image. That is scary. Oh, they're not fake. So, if it's in the description, I don't really advertise my merch that much. I really don't. But if you want to get it, it should be in the description. Let me see. Yeah. So there we go. This is in the description, and you'll see my shirts are in there. So, I don't advertise merch very much because at the end of the day, I want you guys to save your money and buy gear. I mean, a t-shirt is a t-shirt is a t-shirt. But if it means, you know, it's like I can either buy gear now or I'll buy a t-shirt and then wait like a week or two, I'd rather you buy gear. So I don't advertise my merch very often. I really don't. The main thing I advertise is YouTube memberships. So you can see right here, the newest YouTube member is Bill Odom. Total YouTube members are right there. And then I advertise Patreon, and then you know, up there it says savealiferoadguardians.org. That's the type of stuff. I basically advertise charities and things that will give you something. Does that make sense? So right here, let's watch. So this was one of those situations where it's an intersection. Okay, car turning left in front of you. That right there is dangerous, absolutely dangerous. Okay. Best as possible for the rider and driver. Exactly. Car approach to the intersection, no reaction awareness from the driver. And then, of course, rev bomb because they're super effective crash avoidance. So we'll see. Let's see. No real rev bomb. He was just getting back up to speed. The thing, though, is that he locked up that rear tire. You hear that skid? That right there. That was the locking of that rear tire, and then he either released it or his ABS kicked in and stopped it from being locked up and was able to roll. But what we can take from this, guys, this is an intersection right here. So the moment you see this vehicle, okay, the moment you see this vehicle, you definitely need to be in orange already. So coming up to an intersection, so if we look at this, let's go back. Why is there a big gap? So you see, if you can't see the intersection, here's a telltale sign that the intersection is coming up, okay? You see how there's a bunch of sun on this building. And these are all things that I have to pick apart when I was in the fire service, and I'm trying to see how quick and how far, you know, buildings are apart. Do we have to do defensive structure? I'm trying to think of the layman's term on this one. How do we protect the adjacent structures so that they don't get involved either? That's not even layman's terms either. But what I would do is I would pick apart all these different things, and I see a bunch of sun on this building and a bunch of sun on this building. That means they're not close together. That means they're far apart. If sun is able to get down into all the way to the bottom, that means it's far apart from this building. You see how there's like shade on this part? So I start picking apart these different things. Also, these telephone poles. Same thing. That will also indicate. So if you have a tough time seeing it, start to realize there's these telltale clues when it comes to intersections. And I understand that it's like a lot. It's like, what are you talking about? This is a lot of information. It's like I have to look for shade and I have to look for sun. Here's the thing, guys. Once you get past your physical skills and you start practicing, this stuff happens naturally to you. Like, it didn't take me, I wasn't able to just start picking these things out in 1 week. It took a long time, but this is where you start developing that situation awareness of looking. So right here, I would be in orange mode, and I see this vehicle. If it doesn't slow down, I'm in red. It definitely did not slow down. I'm in red. Also, take a look at where the sun really is shining. You see how it's moving forward. So why did this person not see me? Well, it ran through a stop sign possibly, and then on top of that, the sun's in his eyes. So if the sun's in his eyes, then we have an issue when it comes to the total setting of what's going on here. So remember, take it into effect. You know, the factors: sun in the eyes. It's a blind intersection. I'm on a motorcycle. Am I visible? Am I in a good lane position? All these different things start to play into it. So right here, we should be in red. Okay, so we have to do something, whether it's deceleration to let this person go, which is typically what I do. I'll slow down as much as I can. Or the moment I feel like this person stopped moving, I'm going to do some type of swerve. Braking is only going to be useful in this situation for slowing down to let this person go, because you're not going to stop in time. Even with perfect reaction time and perfect perception time, you're not going to stop in time because your total stopping distance for that speed is not going to be good enough. So this area right here in between the motorcyclist and the car is not enough total stopping distance. If that, you need to start realizing that. So if that's the case, you need to move over to a swerve, or you need to slow down then swerve then slow down, or slow down to let this person go if they continue on that path. Because if you swerve to the left and they continue on with that path, you're going to swerve right into them. If you swerve right and they don't continue on with their path, you're going to swerve into them. So at anything, you really have to slow down and then make an evasive maneuver, which is exactly what this rider did. Okay, so this rider did a good job. So at no point, this rider did a good job. Okay, so let's see. The parked cars blocking the driver's view. Yeah, easily. The parked cars are dropping the driver's view. So another factor in this. Rather shadow, the sun is at his back, so when you're looking in his direction, looking at the sun. Exactly. So when you're in this position and you see the shadow in front of you, it's like, oh crap. So people coming out in front of me it's gonna block their view. Howie Felch with the donation. Thank you, man. Thank you for spreading the word. That's the biggest thing. That is the biggest thing is sharing the videos, guys. Really appreciate it. But look at most recent super chat right there. Howie Felch, $4.99. Thank you so much, man. Guys, if you want to become, hey Matt, how you doing? Motos with Matt's in the house. You. I wish I can gift subs. I wish that's something that YouTube could do. But yeah, factor right here, sun in the eyes. Cars blocking the view. Yep. So that's that slowing down. That's what I'm talking about. You have to slow down to buy yourself an option. So now that you're buying yourself options, like at this point, what do? You're going to roll off that, or you're going to release that brake, and you're going to allow your tires to have more traction. Because remember, if you apply the brakes, deceleration, that takes away traction. Okay, you have deceleration, acceleration, turning for traction. Okay, you can't go over 100% of your traction. If you go over 100%, you dump the bike. You lose traction. So if you're taking 50% of your traction out of that front tire by applying the brakes, if you try to swerve with 75%, you went over at 125%, boom, you dump the bike. So this is where a lot of people have problems. So right now what we should do is release a little bit of that brake, maybe 25%. So now we have 25% total traction used for deceleration. Let's use 50 to 75 for swerving, and then we're good. We still have traction, right? That's what you should be doing in this situation. So slowing down. And if you notice, this driver saw him at the last second. You hear the skid. Okay, so he skidded. That's fine. He released the brakes for that skid, or the ABS kicked in. But right now, this driver stopped. So this gives you this option to swerve left or go straight within your own lane. But I would still swerve just in case he started coming out a little bit more. So if you notice, he doesn't even get out of his lane. You see that? See the line? He doesn't even get out of the lane. That's all it takes. So when I talk about setting yourself up for success in lane positioning, okay, when I tell you that, setting up for success in lane position, what lane position are we in right now? Let me go ahead and scroll this up just a little bit. What lane position are we in right now? We're in lane position 2, okay? So here's lane position 2, lane position 3, lane position 1. It's going to be different for those in the UK. In the UK, this is going to be lane position 3, 2, 1, because you guys are on this left lane over here. So right here, we're in lane position 2. That's going to give you the best space cushion between the lane to your left and the shoulder to your right. That's fine. But that should only be utilized when there's an area like probably before this where there's no traffic. Okay, so when you have good visibility everywhere, lane position 2 is probably going to be your best bet. What's up, Robert? How you doing, man? It's been a long time, man. Long time. Glad to see you're still here, man. Really appreciate it. So what you want to do in this situation is that we're coming up to a hazard that we start to pick apart, and we start using our situational awareness. So we see that we have buildings up ahead, we have vehicles up ahead, possible intersection based off of what we know. So since we have that, and we understand that there's going to be an intersection to the right, Okay, so we see the intersection to the right already. What we should be doing is opening ourselves into a good lane position for line of sight. And the best lane position for this right here, for line of sight, is going to be lane position 1. As close to that line as you possibly can without going over. Because there's no oncoming traffic, right? So you don't have to worry about oncoming traffic accidentally clipping you with the mirror. So I would stay in lane position 1 as close to the left as I can. And at the same time, I would slowly decelerate. Just a little bit. Roll off the throttle just a little bit. Okay? And that's just right here. So right now, I just switched from yellow to orange stage. Okay? Yellow to orange stage because this is a possible hazard trap. Now I'm in red stage. All right, well, let me take it back. I'm not in red stage yet because red is when you act. But I'm getting prepped to act. I'm getting prepped to act. So I'm in lane position 1. I set myself up. Okay, lane position 1. I'm getting ready. I'm starting to cover the brakes, though. So I guess red. I'm going to start covering the brakes, and I'm getting ready. I'm getting both hands on the handlebars. You guys always talk crap about me not having hands on the handlebars. This is the situation where I'd have my hands on the handlebars. So reach for those front brakes. Reach for that front brake. And get ready. Okay, we're not squeezing yet. Right here, I'm going to start to roll off the throttle. That's going to engine brake me, and I'm also going to apply a little bit of brake pressure. So now I have engine braking and applying brake pressure, and I'm not messing with the clutch right now just because I might need to use my engine to accelerate out of this if I absolutely have to. So yeah, exactly. LA Jixer, cover the clutch though. Yeah, go ahead and cover it though. Go ahead. But don't apply it yet because we still need to have power to that rear wheel. So right here, at this situation, I'm either going to do a very hard swerve to the left. So I'm going to be all the way to the next lane position 1, if I absolutely have to. Okay? And that's just so I can get out of this guy's way. But definitely slow down, start to react to what this person is going to do. It's just a shitty situation. So he did a good job. And there it is. Now, it's a very long explanation of what happens. But I always take my time on the very... Alexandra Palumba, how you doing? I always take my time on the first video to show you guys what process I'm going through. So for the next videos that we do, it's gonna be quick, and I want you guys to follow along with me. Does that make sense? All right, here we go. Well, that was a quick cut. Okay. What do I talk about in neighborhoods, guys? Driveways are considered intersections in my eyes. Every driveway in a neighborhood is an intersection. It's a possibility for a vehicle to pull into my path of travel. That to me is what an intersection is. Anything that is going to move into my path of travel, that is a motor vehicle. Because pedestrians can go anywhere. You know, they could just jump into the road anywhere. But vehicles typically have a road. Okay, vehicles typically have a road to be on. That's going to be a driveway. That's going to be an intersection. It's going to be whatever. Okay. So exactly. So Florida man, zero visibility. Zero visibility. Why is there zero visibility? It's because these vehicles that are parked on the road are blocking our line of sight. But there's no, like, this is as far back as I can go. So what I am doing when I'm riding in a neighborhood, I'm going relatively slow. I'm going the speed limit. It's about 25. Okay. So I'm going to go about 25. But when I have like a situation like this where I have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 on each side, that to me is going to give me a red flag to slow it down a little bit more. So 20 miles an hour. When you go up here, so about right here, you see how there's open area? There's open area over here, and then a little bit more open area over here. Let me put this back down a little bit. Then I can go back to the 25. LXP Rider, how you doing? LXPT Rider. That's such a quick transition. Okay, there you go. So right here, what I'll be doing is that when I was further back, you definitely see the vehicle moving. When you're further back, you're going to see the vehicle. Just like how you can see the driveway way up here, you're going to see this vehicle pulling out way back there. So knowing that's going to happen is going to be very important. And this is what I'm talking about when it comes to that Bosch advanced rider system, rider aid system, whatever it's called. This is exactly what it's going to do. It's going to brake for you. Now, it's not going to be the best thing because motorcycling, a lot of the times it's swerving. That's going to be better for you. But it's going to, hopefully, there's going to be some type of light indicator. Something's happening. Luke Skywalker, how you doing? How's your dad, Anakin? So right here, a quick little swerve. That's all it's going to take because this driver is not going to notice you until the very last second. Maybe like right here, it's going to notice you. So you're going to have to swerve. Thanks for the breakdown of these incidents. As a fellow rider coach in Colorado, I like your style and insight. Helps shape my own style to deliver relevant content. Chris Horton, thank you for being a rider coach, man. You are out there making people safe. So everyone give if you're our YouTube member, give Chris. I'm writing it down. Sorry. Give Chris a biker wave. Give Chris a biker wave. Very good. Maybe a little bit too much of an adjustment. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's go back. We'll have to do it by frames. A 5-second jump is just way too much in these. All right. So right here, brake lights. There you go, Florida man. You're welcome, Chris, man. I'll shout out any other rider coach out here. You guys, I understand the job, and it's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work. So that's awesome, dude. So right here, Florida man, exactly. Immediately see brake lights and too fast. So too fast might be, you know, he's riding on the interstate. So let's just assume 65. Okay, it might be a 75-mile-an-hour road, but let's say 65. The way he's traveling with traffic, let's go ahead and look at that. See how he's catching up to traffic? See how he closed that space cushion? That right there, oh my. So that right there means he is going faster than traffic. Sean. Scarlet, exactly. So, oh gosh, why are they braking? Let's get ready to move. Let's move over in that lane. So this driver, think about it. Driver behavior. If this driver does not want to turn off, which quite possibly could be it. That's what I'm always going to default to. This driver doesn't want to turn off. Okay. And I just realized the camera is a little bit tall. There we go. Sorry about that. So this driver right here might not want to turn off, and that's going to be my default, is like this driver doesn't want to turn off. He's going to want to continue on his path. If that's the case, he's going to go into this nice open lane that I'm currently in. So if I'm in lane position 3 right now, when I see these brake lights, I immediately move over to lane position 1. I'm still within my lane. It's not a swerve. I'm utilizing whatever lane I possibly can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to utilize my lane position in lane position 1 to give myself the space cushion for this. And he started subconsciously doing that. You see how he moved over to like lane position 2? Subconsciously, he was doing that. So we need to start listening to our subconscious brain. And he was very quick with his swerving skills. But you see how those tires, they start to go over? Soon as, look, he's already swerving. Soon as those tires touch those lines, with an indicator or not, that means that person's going into your path of travel. I don't even like calling it taking my lane. I'm calling it taking my path of travel. And that's the biggest thing here. So if he's going to take my path of travel, we have to work with the law of tonnage, guys. If you guys are in trucking industry, firefighter industry, anything that involves big machinery, the law of tonnage means that whoever has the most weight wins. And right now, on this road, the motorcyclist is going to lose. Every single one of these vehicles has more tonnage compared to the motorcyclist. So you're going to hit this car, it's not going to do much to it. It's not going to do much to it. It might, you know, scare the person enough to where they lose control. But if you hit anything like that, boom, it doesn't even matter. What's up, Desroyne? How you doing? So we need to start thinking like that. It doesn't matter if we're victims to this. That's just the reality. The law of tonnage says that we need to get out of the way. Okay? It's like a kid playing football with adults. At the end of the day, that kid's going to get destroyed, especially if it's tackle, right? That's what we are. We're kids with adults playing tackle football. Stay away from them. Utilize our speed. Utilize our little nimbleness, guys. Let's not get hit. So right here, he did a good job. He saw that the car was going over the line, and within a few frames, he starts to swerve. Look at that. Is that you? Yeah, it is you, man. Yeah, look at LA get. Hey, how you doing, man? Good job. Good job, LA. Dude, that's really funny. I did not obviously plan that. Look, you're on the bottom. Congrats, dude. Very good job. I'm over here talking to like, see, this is why I don't talk crap about people. Because it turns out sometimes they show up. You know what I mean? Plus, I don't do that because it's just unbecoming of who I am to say mean things. So right here, perfect job. As soon as you saw the car's tires going over that line, you did what you had to do. Good job, man. You're on the internets, LA Gixa. That was you again. Man, this is like all you. Man, this is all you. So the one thing that I would say, though, the one thing I will say to you is that the reason why you're getting into a lot of these situations where you're having to swerve away from merging vehicles is because your speed. So you might want to slow it down just a little bit because our profile is not that good and people can't judge our speed. Yeah, you do go fast. So that's one thing I am noticing. So speed will definitely help you out when it comes to slowing it down a little bit more. But your physical skills of evasion and situational awareness is really good. But let's not add another difficulty to what we're doing. You know, in terms of video game stuff, normal mode, you're playing on hard mode. That's basically it. You got the skills for it. You got the skills for hard mode, but it doesn't leave you a lot of options. There's no replays on this. Is this like all you? Yeah, I think it is. It's like all you. I didn't. Who did this one? Oh, Chaos Riders. So they took all your videos. What's up, Matt? How you doing? Thanks, man. I just talked to Chase on Two Wheels today. I just had I had like an hour and a half conversation with Chase on Two Wheels. Absolutely love talking to him. So that's gonna be coming up. If you are a patron, you get to see videos early. So, yeah, 4 videos in a row for him. Right here, Ride Like a Pro. So everybody knows who Jerry Palladino is, Ride Like a Pro. That is up on my Patreon right now. So if you want to listen to the Ride Like a Pro podcast, it's on my Patreon right now. Right now. Yeah, that lane split was a little iffy, but I think we got enough out of that, man. I think you know that you might need to slow it down just a little bit, all right? So they usually find you, the 5-2-wheeler, Moto Madness and all them tend to find you. I usually find same way they find them. I just look up motorcycle close calls, and then I ask them if I could use it.
Fuck this traffic, holy shit. Holy shit, lucky I'm riding. Fuck this.
Whoa.
It's fucking mad. Woo!
Way too close.
What the fuck's she raging at?
So, got mad because he jumped the queue, but I guess that's like the culture there is typical. Here's the thing. That right there, if you look at the bottom, and I'm not going to judge based off of, you know, should you have done that or whatever. Here's the thing is that we're way too close. What if this driver decides to back up? They didn't look, they didn't see, and they just start to back up. That's when you start having problems. So culture-wise, that might be something that you typically do over there, but that's just way too close for me, and I wouldn't want somebody to back up into me. That's the biggest thing. This has music. I'm going to have to mute it, okay, guys? Sorry about that. Oh. So that had some monkeys or baboons. So just like any animals, that's going to be just something you can't really do much about. I mean, if you're out in the woods, then it's like deer season. If you understand what seasons are what, you might understand. Okay, this is going to be crazy. Okay. But typically, you're not going to be able to do much when it comes to that. Like if a dog runs out, good luck. You're going to have to juke them, but there's this way of doing it. But animals are very unpredictable. So pedestrians, they somewhat are unpredictable, but you'll typically see them at crossings. So, I mean, it's not going to be the biggest deal. It's not going to be the craziest deal. So that's going to be the biggest thing. Once again, guys, if you want to get more behind the scenes and hang out with people just like me, swing on by the Discord. Discord is absolutely free. Click that link. 2,300 people are in it. It's going to be in the chat. Come join us. Yeah, there's that music. Oh. So way too fast for the indication, like way too fast for this area. Especially it's in an area. I mean, if you're gonna be going that fast, here's the thing: if you're gonna be going that fast in this area, let's say it's the speed limit, but for what we're doing, especially on a bike, that's not gonna be the best option. So what I would do is I'd be in the left lane if I'm going that fast. Yeah. If I'm gonna go that fast, I'm gonna make sure that I'm in the left lane because that's gonna give me the best space cushion, guys. That's gonna be the best space cushion. So that's what you're gonna want to do. So braking's not gonna be the best option, but he's honking his horn. He's getting upset. That's not gonna be the best thing to do. You should not be going that fast, anyways. And if you notice, we have a school sign right here. So that means we got possible pedestrians everywhere. Hit that like button. That's right, guys. Hit that like button. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. So if you notice, he's getting himself into another situation. He's going to be in a completely new situation after he finishes that hazard. So he got out of that hazard, and now he's going to be into a new hazard. We have all this traffic. It looks like these vehicles were stopped. It just turned into green, so that means this vehicle is already slowed down. Why did we get back in this lane? So this vehicle is going to turn right. Now we're having to swerve in and out, swerve in and out. I understand that's fun, but at the end of the day, do you guys want to have fun or you want to go home? You could do both if you treat situation awareness like a game and you're enjoying it. If you're just enjoying the adrenaline rush coming from a motorcycle, that's fine, but let's not do that when there's a bunch of hazards on the road, which is going to be traffic. Thanks, Rue, man. How you doing?
Now I'm kind of scared. That hurt. Oh. And I broke my rear set. Oh, that one hurt. Oh.
So this video, I absolutely encourage this. Yeah, I mean, stupid tax, all that stuff. I absolutely encourage people that want to test a new skill. Okay, they want to test a new skill. I encourage people to go out into areas like this. Look, you don't have a car coming at you. You have good. Concrete versus asphalt. There's pros and cons to that, but there's no road debris whatsoever. You're not having to deal with any. He's got gear on. So this is where you want to practice. If you could practice like slow speed maneuver, like I treat this just like somebody wanting to practice their U-turns. And you do it out here. Do it out here. Don't do it out on the road. Don't practice U-turns out on the road. Don't practice your wheelies out on the road. Practice everything in a parking lot because you minimize the risk. You minimize traffic. You minimize road debris. You minimize, all these different situations that would cause massive problems. So right here, to mitigate that problem, to mitigate the problem of injury here, is to make sure you have full gear. But there's no real gear to protect your coccyx, which is your tailbone, and all the different bones that are within there. Tailbone is just, once again, a coccyx. It's a set of bones. You want to protect that. So maybe there's some gear. I don't know. Maybe there's some gear out there that it's like armor for your butt. That's going to help protect breaking that, because you don't want to break that because you're going to have urinary tract problems. You're going to have bowel issues by breaking that, and it's going to be a pain in the ass. I didn't mean to do that, but it came out. Also, he says that his throttle was stuck.
That hurt.
So the throttle got stuck. You can hear it during the loop. If you hear it in a loop, that's because if his throttle got stuck, does that mean he did a pre-ride check? So when you do your pre-ride check, you grab the throttle handle. Let's go ahead and switch it over here. I don't know why I have a drill. This is a electric screwdriver, so I'll use it. So when you're out doing your pre-ride check, something super easy to do is you just do a quick flick. So you pull it all the way down, and then you let go. And if it snaps back, that's good. If you pull all the way down and it doesn't snap back, or it slowly moves, or it doesn't move, that needs to be adjusted. That absolutely needs to be adjusted. Awareness is a game. I treat each road as a new level. If I've been riding like a dick and catch myself, each new junction road I treat it as a chance to reset and ride the way I look up to. Exactly. I treat it like a video game. I love video games, guys. I absolutely love it. So I try to relate it to that type of stuff. You know, normal mode is, you know, just typically riding with good situational awareness. Easy mode is having expert skills on an easy road with situational awareness. Hard mode is having everything but then riding like speeding. And then extreme hardcore mode is when you're literally doing all the stuff that you're not supposed to be doing, somehow getting away with it, and then it's going to take that one minion or that one boss, which is going to be a car, to do something very minor, and you're going to have a good problem. You know, a good problem. I mean, bad problem. So right here, definitely want to check out the adjustment. How would you adjust that if it did happen to a bike? So let's go ahead and take a look. So if it happened to my bike, now typically you're going to find within your manual. So this is the owner's manual. So those small little things, those small things like throttle adjustments, clutch adjustments, adjusting your rear brake, your shifter, all those different things you're going to find within your owner's manual. So if you don't have an owner's manual with the bike that you got, especially if you got it used and they didn't give you the owner's manual, make sure you go find it. You should be able to find the owner's manual on the website of the bike you got. So if you got a Yamaha MT-07 and you don't have an owner's manual, you can definitely go to Yamaha's website and find it. So let's just see. Operation, maintenance. So I'm in the maintenance section. This is what I talked about during the things you want to do within the first 1,000 miles. You know, brand new rider on a brand new bike. So you got rear shock preload adjustment, rear shock adjustment guide, fork suspension inspection, what to inspect in, rebound settings for your suspension, mechanical clutch lever free play, how much free play you're supposed to have, throttle control inspection. So throttle control right here. So when you inspect it, it's going to tell you how to adjust it if you absolutely have to. So make sure you go into your owner's manual to check it. So rear brake pedal, there you go, brake hoses, connections, rear brake fluid. Now this is only going to give you so much, okay? So having a service manual exactly like Vulcan Dude says, always looking to getting a service manual, goes more in depth than your owner's manual. Exactly. Get a service manual because it's going to tell you a lot more. So if you have a question and you're like, man, what do I do? You go to this and it's like, well, that didn't answer my question. So then you go to your service manual and you look up your question again, and it's going to have everything that's involved with that bike. Everything. The torque specs for every nut and bolt, the type of fluids you should be putting in, how far up, the millimeters of this and this and this, all that stuff when it comes to your bike. And that's huge. That is something that you definitely want to get. So find the service manual for your motorcycle for that year. That's going to be a huge thing. That's what I talked about in the video that just came out yesterday, to get a service manual. Because I got one for the Honda Rebel and it's thick, but it's a lot of information. It's just good to have. It's good to have. Yeah, if the service manual doesn't have, so if it doesn't have it, go to the dealer and a bike shop. They will have techs that will know some really good stuff.
Oh. And I broke my rear set. Ah, that one hurt.
So if you break your rear set, so if you go to your service manual, it tells you how to remove that rear set and how to replace it. So that's the cool thing. So you're gonna spend maybe $50 to $100 on a service manual, but it could quite possibly save you $50 to $100 the very first time you need it. I'm dead serious. I mean, think about, if all it is how to replace your rear set. Imagine buying that stuff, going to the dealer and having them do it. Maybe it takes them an hour and they're going to do a bunch of other checks. So I always recommend going to the dealer too. but they're gonna do a bunch of checks. It's gonna take a long time. Maybe it's gonna cost you $100, $200. Matt, in here, it's probably gonna block. It's probably gonna block it. It's the way it's set up. But if you want to, if it's like a service manual type thing, do it on the Discord. Do it on the Discord. So that's LA Gixxer again, but we got a... Let me double check 1 second. You guys heard the boop? So we're gonna do this. Ratchet, you're still in the chat, right? You just messaged me. So one thing that I plan on doing in the near future is why you fail your U-turns. That's one of those things. Okay, Ratchet, there you go, man. Thank you for sending this to me. Thank you for sending this to me. We'll close out with this video. I streamed for 1 hour. We're at 50 minutes, so I'll close it out of this video. But we're gonna learn about the U-turn. So if you want to write in the chat like kind of what happened, give everybody a good idea of what happened, man.
Okay, let's see if I can make this turn. Nope. Damn it. Well, at least we got...
You got sliders though, dude. That's gonna help you out.
on tape this time, boys. Ignition off. We're good to go with that. All right, let's get her up.
Okay.
Hopefully the oil isn't leaking. Okay. Got her. Just straight.
He's got sliders though. Did it protect your fairings? Did it protect your fairings? So let's watch it again.
Okay, let's see if I can make this turn. Nope.
So I see that a lot. You hear that rev?
Nope.
Now I can't see where your hands are. I don't think they're on the brakes. Do you remember ever grabbing the brakes?
Nope.
I think there was a counterbalancing issue. So it's the reason why the bike wanted to fall down. The reason why little scratch but no major damage. So that's the good thing about having frame sliders. It's going to help you out with that. So real quick, when it comes to this is actually this is pretty narrow. This is a pretty narrow spot. If you don't feel 100% comfortable with doing a U-turn in this area like this, I just do a 3-point turn. Not a big deal. Just because there's just so much stuff that could be distracting, especially if you're brand new. If you're not new and you know how to do U-turns all the time, you're like, I could do figure eights, blah, 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 then go ahead and try it. But me personally, I'll even do a 3-point turn in this. So don't worry about having to make this in a one motion. I personally would choose to do a 3-point turn here. So don't feel obligated, I have to do a U-turn. So right here.
Okay, let's see if I can make this turn.
So we're turning in very late. So already we're turning in late. So you notice how you have this much room from here all the way to the right, all the way to the left. Same thing way over here to over here. So if you started your turn right here, it's going to be the same as if you started your turn over here, except for if you start it way back here, you feel like you're having to make it sharper because you have a wall right next to you. So if you can, open it up more and make the U-turn like right here. Okay, a little bit earlier. And if you can, I can't go any further back. If you can, utilize this open spot as a way to turn into it and then turn back out. So right here, I would set myself a little bit farther to the right to already make it to where I don't have to do a massive, or not massive, way I don't have to do a very sharp U-turn. So move yourself over to the right. Set yourself up for success. And I'm not here picking on you, Ratchet. I'm not here to pick on you. I don't want anybody here picking on him, okay? He literally just sent this to me to say, hey, what happened, you know? And we're learning together, okay? This is what I see. This is exactly what I see in my BRC1, okay? They might not drop it, they might put their foot down and save it, but this is what I see, okay? So Chris Horton, I'm pretty sure you've seen this too. Looks close to the 20 feet from bumper to bumper. Greater than 600cc, 24 foot is the MSF's test standard. So yeah, exactly. So this is, yeah. So anything under 500 feet is 20, or 500cc is 20, and then anything over 500cc is the 24 foot box, which is, I believe, the white box. There's the red, there's the blue, white, and red. So this is probably the white box. So this is actually really hard for you, man. I'm not. This is exactly what I'm talking about here. This is gonna be a hard one. So I would set myself up a little bit more over here. No problem, man. That was before MSF. I passed it. Congrats, dude. This is what I love, man. So I'm glad that you're practicing. You got the right gear. You had sliders. You're doing everything you possibly can, and you took the MSF class. Kudos to you, man. I wish I could give you $5. Really appreciate it, dude. Really do. So right here, we're gonna move forward. I would put myself off a little bit more to the right. You know, set myself just a little bit more.
See if I can make this turn.
Let me go ahead and scroll this. There it is. Ratchet TV for the donation. Boom, right there. Ratchet TV, $4.99. Thank you so much. So right here, we're getting close to that wall. You start to have that mental aspect of, can I make it? That's gonna mess you up. So like I said, I'd 3-point it. I'd pull into here and just come out and call it a day. So I'm sure what you learned is that you need to turn your head, right? During the MSF class. This was before the MSF class, so during the MSF class, I'm pretty sure they drilled into you turn your head. And when you think about it, a lot of people think, well, he's turning his head right now. It's not enough. And here's why, guys. Here's why. So take a look at that. It's going to be on the bottom right here. So it's going to be right here. It's pretty cool. I like that. Tell me if you guys like the fact that you can see both screens at the same time. So when you turn your head, so this is turning my head. So look at my shoulders. Look at my shoulders, guys. I turn my head. Is that what we're doing here? I'm going to turn my head. No. So in a U-turn, you don't just turn your head and call it a day. That's what's happening right here in the video. He's just turning his head. And then obviously there's going to be some type of manipulation. So now it's that. Okay, so turning my head doing that. What we do as MSF rider coaches, and when we teach the U-turn or any type of slow speed stuff, is turn your head. So you see how I turn my head? So I'm turning my head. Look at my shoulders right now. So I'm turning my head. So I'm holding my hand. I'm just going to put my hands out like this. And naturally, when I turn my head that far, it's going to turn my shoulders. See right here. This is as far my shoulders turned with no movement from my shoulders. Like I didn't purposely do that. I just moved my head. It's because my sternocleidomastoid and then my trapezius muscle. Trapezoid's a geometry. My I'll screw myself up. My traps and my sternocleidomastoid muscle, which is attached to my SE joint. When I turn my head, it's going to rotate my shoulders, okay? It's rotating the shoulders. This is part of the shoulder girdle right here, okay? So when you turn your head, it's going to move that shoulders too. And when it moves the shoulders, you're going to move the bike itself. So just by doing this, if I don't do any counterweighting, there's a possibility the bike's gonna want to start to fall down because now I have weight on the inside of that turn. So now that I have weight and my head movement like this, what happened here? And man, huge fan. Thank you for the time and knowledge. Thank you for the donation, man. I really appreciate it. Look at that. Boom, boom, right there. So when you turn the head, you have to start to counterbalance. So now you have to start putting weight to the outside. Okay, so turn the head, weight to the outside, and then friction zone. So what happened here, I believe, when it comes to you hear the revving going up. And I'm giving a very long explanation because I'm not out here actually touching your bike and talking with you in person. This is not how I talk when it comes to the MSF. I actually we do it quickly within a minute, but I'm spending time with you guys. So turn the head, counterbalance, and now you need to friction zone. So we hear this. Let's hear it. That right there is too much clutch. Too much clutch. And it is really hot in here. The fan's off. Too much clutch. So you went from, you had good throttle control. So your throttle was fine. You're maybe going a little bit too fast, or not too fast, too slow. So your throttle was fine. Your right hand was fine. Your left hand, you might have squeezed in that clutch a little bit more. So you go from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So 1 is closed. Or I'm sorry, 0 is closed. 1 is out just a little bit. There you go. 2, 3, 4, 5. So wrapping that clutch handle. So when you squeezed it in, roughly around 2 to 4. So 5, 4, 3, which is about halfway. 2 is a little bit less than halfway. 1 is almost closed. 0 is closed. So in between 2 and 4 is your friction zone. So what happened with you is you might have squeezed it past the 2 and into the 1, and it pulled too much power from that rear wheel and caused the engine RPMs to rev, and it caused you to lose power to that rear wheel, which caused everything just to kind of get all screwed up. Now you don't have any power and momentum to continue the turn. You're counterbalancing, you're looking, and now you dropped on the inside. So that's what's happening here. And I'm sure you figured it out. Martin C., thanks, man. Appreciate it. From Ireland. Chin to your shoulder. Yes, exactly, Fire Dog. So, yeah, too much clutch, Mike Reed. Too much clutch on that one. But I'm sure during your MSF you figured it out. I'm sure you figured it on your MSF. And that's the biggest thing is I can spend... Here's the thing, guys. I can spend an hour describing how to do a U-turn vocally and with a visual aid like this. Or you can spend 5 minutes with an MSF rider coach and learn how to do it. That's the beauty of in-person instructor training. And no matter what I say and do on this channel, is it will not replace in-person coaching. You need to go out and get in-person coaching. If you're in Arizona, ride Arizona MTC. Okay, guys? Ride Arizona MTC. Like, I'm in my sweatpants. That's why it's a little warm out. I gotta look good up top. Just on the bottom, I'm get comfy. Ride Arizona MTC, guys. Ride Arizona MTC in Arizona. Go do it. Go do it. Trapezius, Dan, Krista, thank you so much on the Discord. Appreciate it. The trapezoids, the latissimus dorsi, all those different things. But no, I'm glad. So once you dropped it, the only thing that you really have concern now is your body, and it looked like you had full gear, so you're perfectly fine there. It was a slow speed fall. If you did hit your head, double check, because even though you do have a helmet on, you could have a headache and it cause a small TBI. It's not going to be massive. It's not going to be bad. Also check your helmet for any type of cracking on the polystyrene foam. But you had sliders on, dude. So anything, you probably had a little bit of scratches on your mirror, but not a big deal. Sharpie can handle that. Everything else, though, you saved it. Those sliders worked out really well. If you didn't have sliders, you're probably going to break your fairing, and fairings cost a lot more than sliders, guys. It really does.
Damn it.
So that's a slider right there. That right there is going to stick out and hopefully catch the ground before you hit your fairing. So thanks for sending that in, man. Really appreciate it. Guys, I would love to go and travel and meet you guys. I really would. I really would. Absolutely would love to. Isn't the MSF course obligatory in the U.S. before the... no, it's not. It's not. I really want to make it, honestly, like that. In Washington and a few other places, they're going to start moving into a tiered system. Arizona, there has been talks about it, and I actually support a tiered system, guys. As much as I support everyone to do what they want to do, I think a tiered system would work really well. I think if you take the MSF BRC1, you can basically get your endorsement, but with some restrictions. That you take an advanced class, I think it should be unrestricted after that. That's kind of where I'm at with that. And there's definitely some better stuff out there that I think would make people safer, because within the first 2 to 6 months of taking the MSF BRC1 class, that's when most people have a crash, because there is a massive amount of confidence, even though your skills aren't up to par. Just because you took class doesn't mean that you should be going crazy on the road, or that you're an expert on the road. You're not even a novice on the road after a beginner class. It's giving you the foundation to practice. And then when you take an advanced class, it's giving you even more tools to practice. At the end of the day, a two-day class is not going to make you 100% safe. A 2-day class is going to give you the tools to do that. I mean, I can go to the store and buy a hammer, and am I an expert at hammering shit? No, I'm not. You know, I have to know what type, what I can use the hammer for. The hammer's not going to be the perfect tool. Now I got to go out and get a screwdriver. I got this. It's like, you go out and get the tools needed, but if you don't know how to use them, it's worthless. So going to the MSF it's like going to the store and getting a tool, and then you need to go out and figure out how to use it. Now they're going to tell you like which direction to go with. There's going to be good instructions, but it's really important that you continue to practice and focus on what's important on that. So guys, I just want to say thank you so much for everybody to that sent me. Look at that. See, look at donated a stream. MN donated a stream. Everybody that donated a stream, I really appreciate it. It does mean a lot to me. It makes it to where I'm able to continue on with these videos. But if you want to, Dan's a carpenter, an expert at hammering shit. It's so true. If you want to support the channel, and at the same time hang out with other people, join the Discord, guys. The Discord is absolutely free, and you're supporting the channel by having a good communication with the rest of the DDFM crew and with me. I jump in there all the time. So guys, jump in and chat for free. If you join right now, it's going to show up that you joined. This is live right now. Let's see. There you go. This is on right now. Join up, guys. Dave Holm, if you're a little nervous about practicing U-turns and stuff because of the floorboards, highly recommend putting even more and more and more counterbalancing even more. Then you'll realize you don't have to move that the bike over that far. You're welcome, Craig. And that's the thing, though. Floorboards are designed to scrape on the bottom. They really are. So don't worry about any noise. Now, the one thing that you would have to worry about is if your foot catches. Don't let your foot catch. Join the Discord, guys. Yes, Ruman, you definitely can. If you can, guys, if you are let's say you're slalom or your slow speed stuff, yeah, definitely check out Jerry Palladino. I have his Ride Like a Pro exercise guide right here. I obviously can't tell you guys what's in it because it's his stuff. You know, I don't want to give away his stuff. But definitely you could practice your slow speed stuff on a bicycle. Get a feel for that counterbalancing on a bicycle, and then translate that skill set to your motorcycle. And guys, if you would like to support the channel with Patreon, that's monetary stuff, I would really appreciate it. That helps out the channel so much. You click that link, ddfmcrew.com/Patreon, and it really, really helps. It really does. Hey, Nublet just joined. Welcome, Nublet. It helps because it allows me to do this full time. Oh, I'm sorry, Derek. What's up, Carlos? How you doing, man?